Grande, Prairie, Wapiti.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Last week during the committee meeting on public accounts, the Deputy Minister of Agriculture mentioned that the minister was meeting with the Federal Minister of Agriculture to discuss specific elements of the new Growing Forward 3 program after Growing Forward 2 expires in 2018. To the Minister of Agriculture, what specifics came out of this meeting and what progress have you made on Growing Forward 3, if that's what we're calling it?
Honourable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And it would be my bet that it will be called Growing Forward 3. So, yeah, we had an opportunity to meet with all the agriculture ministers across Canada, including the federal minister, last week in Ottawa, and give it a real opportunity to look at our priorities going forwards to the larger federal, provincial, territorial meetings on the next national policy framework, which will be happening in St. John's. So everything's discussed at this last meeting in Ottawa were the risk management policies and trade and other issues as well. Mr. Speaker, it was a very fruitful meeting. Looking forward to the meeting in July.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. For supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given that current funding from the Growing Forward 2 program is helping our agricultural industry increase innovation, sustainability and profitability, and given that this program is a key part of diversifying Alberta's agricultural industry, to the same minister, how are you ensuring a smooth transition into the new GF3 program?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and the member for the question. It is true the last 5 years of the current Growing Forward 2 program has put $400 million in the agriculture industry in Alberta. It's a very successful program. Everything from the business risk management for the crop insurance, that kind of things, to grant programs for infrastructure and agri-food processing. It's a great program. Looking forward to working with my colleagues across the country to ensure that funding continues in Alberta. There'll be different types of discussions. There'll be bilateral discussions for Alberta to the federal and also multilateral with all the provinces. Looking forward, Minister.
Second supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given that there's a wide array of programs funded by the current GF2, and given that some programs which are not currently available in GF2 could help Alberta farmers if added to Growing Forward 3, to the Minister, how are you ensuring that the new GF3 gives Alberta enough flexibility to address specific Alberta priorities?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, the member for the very good question. So there are, as I said in my previous answer, there are opportunities to do bilateral discussions as well with, on the Assistant Deputy Minister, and Minister levels. Those bilateral discussions will talk about what the Minister or the member is actually asking, is that flexibility available within province and federal government for those funds to help specifically our agriculture industry right here in Alberta. Looking forward to those discussions. Mr. Speaker, there's opportunity to support the industry right across the province.